Okay, so picture this. It's Charleston Harbor,
Mm-hmm.
early April 1861.
Okay.
Rainy morning, tensions are high,
Yeah.
and you've got two old friends.
Mm-hmm.
One's inside a fort, one's about to lead the force to attack it.
Wow.
They're sharing one last exchange of letters,
Yeah.
like one final courtesy before things get real.
Yeah.
It's Fort Sumter.
Right.
You know, that event we all think of
Yeah.
as the start of the Civil War, but
What was it really?
yeah, was it really? And you've done some incredible research about this, not just about the battle itself,
Right.
but also about the lead up to the war, especially in those border states where loyalties were so murky.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're going to unpack all of that today and maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
challenge some assumptions we have about how the Civil War truly began.
I love it. Yeah. It's fascinating how much we think we know about these pivotal moments.
Right.
But then when you really dig deeper, the human stories, the choices they made,
Mm-hmm.
the sheer uncertainty of it all, that's where history comes alive.
It really does. And for anyone out there who remembers history class as just dates and battles, get ready.
Yeah.
Because understanding these messy human choices,
Yeah.
it makes the past feel incredibly relevant, even to today.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so Fort Sumter, Charleston Harbor, early April 1861. We've set the scene. Tensions are high. You've got the newly formed Confederate States of America,
Mm-hmm.
and they want Fort Sumter, a U.S. Army base sitting right there in their harbor, out.
And you can understand why,
Yeah.
for the Confederacy, Fort Sumter is this like giant thumbtack on their brand new map, a symbol of federal authority they desperately wanted gone.
Right. It's practically an insult right in their backyard.
Totally.
So enter P.G.T. Beauregard.
Ah, yes, Beauregard.
What a character. He's the Confederate general tasked with taking the fort,
Mm-hmm.
but he really doesn't want to fight if he can help it.
He's such a fascinating figure, a career soldier, Southerner by birth,
Right.
but also someone who understood the gravity of what was about to unfold.
He does, and he doesn't just send, like, a harshly worded letter. No.
Oh no, Beauregard, ever. The gentleman sends his old friend, the fort's commander, Robert Anderson, whiskey and cigars as a gesture of goodwill.
What a gesture.
Nice.
It speaks volumes, don't you think? These men knew each other,
Yeah.
had served together,
Mhm.
and now they're on opposing sides of this conflict that could literally tear apart their nation.
It's almost Shakespearean,
Isn't it?
a tragedy in the making.
Yeah,
Of course, Anderson refuses the gifts.
Right.
He's a Union soldier under orders.
of course.
But even in that refusal, you see the human drama, the personal cost,
Absolutely.
like this looming conflict.
Yeah. It's crucial to remember that this wasn't just some abstract geopolitical struggle.
Mhm.
This was about relationships, divided loyalties, men forced to make impossible choices.
Absolutely. And Beauregard, even though he's a soldier, he's under orders.
Right.
He tries everything to avoid a fight.
Yeah.
He offers Anderson generous terms, like a peaceful withdrawal, even the chance to salute the U.S. flag as they leave. Wow.
He's bending over backwards
Yeah.
to make this work.
He is. And I think, if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it suggests that many in the Confederacy at this point, including Beauregard,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't necessarily eager for war.
Right.
They wanted recognition, they wanted independence, but they weren't these war-hungry fanatics.
They wanted things their way, but they weren't looking to start a bloodbath.
Right, exactly.
Now, back in the Fort
Yeah.
Anderson situation, it's getting pretty dire.
Yeah.
Supplies are running low,
Mm-hmm.
but Lincoln has promised relief ships.
Okay.
So it becomes this nail-biting waiting game.
Yeah.
Will the ships arrive in time?
Right.
Will Beauregard's patience run out?
Ooh, good question.
And here's where things get almost comical.
Okay.
To bolster their defenses, the Confederates try to disguise their newly arrived cannons as marble.
Infamous marble incident.
Right.
It sounds like something out of like a slapstick comedy. It really highlights the inexperience on both sides.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
In those early days,
Mhm.
they were still trying to figure things out,
You're
trying
right.
to avoid outright war, even as they prepared for it.
You can almost picture them, trying to play it cool, like
Yeah.
nothing to see here, just some harmless marble.
Some marble moving some marble.
And of course it doesn't work.
No.
The jig is up.
Yeah.
April 12th, the bombardment begins.
It begins.
And it lasts for 34 hours.
Intense.
Intense exchange of fire.
Right.
But here's a surprising fact.
Okay.
Only 2 deaths,
Wow, really?
both from a freak accident during a flag salute.
I had no idea.
I know, it's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Given the intensity of the bombardment,
Totally.
you'd expect a much higher casualty count.
Yeah, you would.
But the thing about Fort Sumter,
What's that?
it wasn't about casualties.
Right.
It was about symbolism.
Yeah.
It was the Confederacy proving they were serious.
Uh-huh.
They were willing to fight for their independence.
They're making a statement, a big statement, and that symbolic act
Yes.
had major consequences.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like knocking over the first domino.
Okay.
It forces those states that were still on the fence
Mhm.
to make a choice.
Right.
And within weeks, you see Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina,
Wow.
all seceding from the Union.
It's a chain reaction.
It is. And these weren't just names on a map.
Right.
They brought resources. They brought manpower.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps most importantly, a certain general, Robert E. Lee, to the Confederate cause.
Robert E. Lee. His story's almost Shakespearean, too, isn't it?
It is.
This is a man who, from what I understand, actually hated slavery and yet felt such a profound loyalty to his home state of Virginia
Yeah.
that he chose to side with the Confederacy.
Yeah. Talk about a rock in a hard place.
I know. Lee's dilemma highlights the complexities of this whole period. You
Mhm.
know, this wasn't just a simple good versus evil narrative. It
Yeah.
was about these deeply personal loyalties, principles, beliefs, clashing in this way that had these devastating consequences.
So Fort Sumter, while not the bloodiest battle, definitely a turning point.
For sure.
It forced the issue,
Mm.
made everyone pick a side,
Yeah.
really set the stage for the long, brutal war that was to come.
It did. And while the situation was complex for the whole nation, it gets even more tangled when we turn our attention to the border states.
Oh, yeah.
Places like Maryland, Kentucky, Missouri.
Right.
These were the real battlegrounds of loyalty, where the war wasn't just between states, but often within communities, even families.
Okay, let's dive into that because the border states
Yeah.
are where we really see how messy and uncertain
Absolutely.
those early months of the war truly were.
Yes, they were. It's like, imagine trying to keep a country from splitting apart
Yeah.
when some of its most vital parts are literally sitting on the fence.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling, right?
It is.
You've got families divided,
Mm.
communities split right down the middle.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just about geography.
Right.
It was about deeply personal loyalties.
Yeah, exactly. Take Maryland, for example,
Right?
right next to Washington, D.C.
Mm,
Strategically crucial for the Union.
right.
But there's a strong pro-Confederate sentiment there,
Yeah.
especially in Baltimore.
Oh, in Baltimore, that's where things almost went off the rails, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just the presence of Union troops marching through the city
Yeah.
was enough to spark riots, mobs attacking soldiers.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was one of the first instances of bloodshed in the war,
Right.
even before major battles had begun.
Exactly. This incident in Baltimore forced Lincoln to tread very carefully.
Hmm.
He knew he couldn't afford to alienate Maryland,
Right.
especially with the Confederate capital right across the Potomac River in Virginia.
So Lincoln's got this delicate balancing act.
He
He needs to assert federal authority, but also avoid pushing Maryland into the arms of the Confederacy.
Right. It's like walking a tightrope.
It really is. And then you've got Kentucky,
Oh, yeah.
which decides to declare neutrality,
Neutrality.
which on paper sounds peaceful,
Sure.
but in reality throws a whole other wrench into the works.
Yeah, because Kentucky's not just some random piece of land.
Yeah.
They control these vital rivers, transportation routes, resources.
Yeah, both sides desperately wanted Kentucky on their side,
Absolutely.
but Lincoln, once again,
Yeah,
plays it smart.
he does. He recognized that forcing Kentucky's hand would likely backfire.
Uh-huh.
So he respects their neutrality publicly
Okay.
while quietly working to gain a strategic advantage.
So it's like a game of chess.
It is, yeah.
Lincoln's making these calculated moves,
Mm-hmm.
trying to outmaneuver the Confederacy without actually violating Kentucky's neutrality.
Exactly. He focuses on recruitment within Kentucky,
Okay.
allowing Union sympathizers to enlist.
Uh-huh.
He also ensures that Union forces maintain a presence along the Kentucky border,
Okay.
effectively boxing in Confederate troops.
It's fascinating how Lincoln was playing the long game,
Yeah, he was.
thinking several steps ahead.
He was a brilliant strategist.
And then you have Missouri.
Oh, boy. Missouri.
Talk about a wild ride.
Missouri is just, it embodies the utter chaos
Yeah.
of the border state situation.
Right.
You have a pro-Confederate governor,
Right.
a pro-Union military, smuggled guns, secret militia groups.
Wow.
It's a powder keg ready to explode.
And explode. It does.
It does.
This Camp Jackson affair,
Yeah,
it sounds almost comical at first.
it does, doesn't it?
You have these pro-Confederate militia groups
Right.
basically hiding in plain sight in St. Louis,
Yeah.
thinking they're being all sneaky.
Trying to create a Confederate stronghold right under the nose of the Union.
Right, like, we've got this.
Yeah. Bold move.
Bold move, and it backfires spectacularly.
It does.
Union forces surround Camp Jackson.
Hmm.
Tensions escalate. A shot is fired.
Oh, no.
Nobody knows for sure who fired first,
Right.
but it triggers this full-blown panic.
Wow.
People scatter, soldiers open fire,
Oh.
and you have what becomes known as the St. Louis Massacre.
A real tragedy and a microcosm of the larger conflict
Right.
engulfing the nation. And it also highlights
Yeah.
the ethnic tensions within the Union itself.
Right.
Many of the Union soldiers involved in the massacre
Hmm.
were German immigrants.
Right.
And their presence just added another layer of complexity
Yeah.
to this already volatile situation.
It's a grim reminder that the Civil War wasn't just a North versus South conflict.
It wasn't.
There were divisions, prejudices, simmering conflicts within both sides,
Absolute.
adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, and the chaos in Missouri, it doesn't end there.
Keep going.
It gets even wilder. They end up with two competing governments.
What?
One pro-Union, one pro-Confederate,
government.
constantly battling for control.
Talk about a recipe for disaster.
I know, it essentially turns Missouri into a breeding ground for guerrilla warfare,
Right.
which is arguably the most brutal and messy aspect of any conflict.
It is.
Guerrilla warfare thrives in environments where loyalties are fluid.
Uh-huh.
The lines between civilian and combatant are blurred.
Right.
Missouri became a prime example of that.
Right.
Neighbor turned against neighbor,
Yeah.
families torn apart, violence became a constant threat.
So we've got Fort Sumter forcing the issue,
Mm-hmm.
the Upper South seceding,
Right.
and then these border states becoming these microcosms of the larger conflict.
Yeah.
It's easy to look back now and think, well, of course it happened this way.
Right.
But in those early months,
Yeah.
it was anything but certain.
It was a time of immense uncertainty. The fate of the nation
Yeah.
quite literally hung in the balance. And it wasn't just, the geographical lines that were blurred.
Right.
Both Lincoln and Jefferson Davis leading the Union and the Confederacy.
Right.
They had to make some tough calls early on.
Oh, yeah.
Calls that weren't always popular.
It's easy to forget that both sides were essentially building their government and their armies from scratch.
I know, it's like you've got these fledgling nations
Right.
trying to establish legitimacy,
Mhm.
rally their citizens, and prosecute a war.
All at the same time.
All at the same time, yeah.
And they both faced this same dilemma,
What's that?
how to frame their cause in a way that unites their people,
Right.
but also avoids further alienating potential allies.
It was a tightrope walk.
It was,
Yeah.
it's fascinating to me how their early rhetoric focused on very different things.
Uh-huh.
Lincoln, he's all about preserving the Union,
Okay.
appealing to shared history, national unity, the ideals of the founding fathers.
Yeah.
He's trying to make this about saving the country,
Right.
not about abolishing slavery.
Which was a politically savvy move.
It was.
He knew that explicitly making the war about slavery would push those border states right into the arms of the Confederacy.
And it probably wouldn't have been popular in some parts of the North either.
Probably not, no.
So what about Davis?
Davis, he played the states' rights card. His message was all about self-governance, the right of the Confederacy to determine its own destiny,
Right.
free from what they saw as Northern interference.
Which resonated with a lot of Southerners who felt their way of life was under attack.
Yeah, it tapped into this deep-seated resentment of federal authority and this fierce sense of independence.
Yeah. But beyond the rhetoric,
Right.
both sides faced a mountain of logistical challenges.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, imagine trying to raise an army from scratch.
It was utter chaos.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm picturing those old Western movies where they're rounding up cowboys and shopkeepers,
Oh, right.
handing them muskets.
The reality wasn't far off. You had shortages of everything.
Right.
Weapons, ammunition, uniforms, food, trained officers.
Amazing.
Both sides were scrambling, making do with what they had,
Yeah.
learning as they went.
And didn't they both underestimate just how long and costly this war would be?
Oh, Absolutely. In those early months, there was this sense of naive optimism on both sides. People thought it would be this quick, decisive affair, a matter of weeks or months.
Yeah.
No one could have predicted the years of bloodshed
Right.
that lay ahead.
It's amazing how much we take for granted today in terms of military organization and logistics.
I know, right?
These guys were basically figuring it out as they went along.
They were, and those logistical nightmares had real consequences.
Oh, yeah.
Just look at the case of Lucius Northrop.
Oh, yeah.
The Confederate commissary general,
Uh-huh.
he became the scapegoat for all the supply problems in the South.
I remember reading about him. Didn't even Mary Chestnut, the famous diarist,
Yeah.
take a swipe at him in her writings?
She was merciless
She was.
in her criticism of Northrop's handling of supplies.
Uh-huh.
But in his defense,
Where?
the Confederacy was starting from scratch.
Right.
They had no established infrastructure
Right.
for producing and distributing these vast quantities of supplies
Right, yeah.
needed for a war of this scale.
It's a reminder that these weren't just abstract decisions being made
Well,
in government offices.
No,
They had real-world impacts on the lives of soldiers,
absolutely.
civilians,
Yeah.
everyone involved.
Yeah,
And it wasn't just the Confederacy that struggled.
no.
Didn't the Union also have its fair share of logistical hiccups early on?
Oh, definitely. Simon Cameron,
Right.
Lincoln's first Secretary of War,
Yeah.
later admitted that the Union was woefully unprepared. He said they had practically no guns, no ammunition,
Wow.
just a whole lot of enthusiasm and very little planning.
It's mind-boggling how they managed to fight a war under those conditions.
It speaks to the incredible determination and
Yeah.
resilience on both sides.
Yeah.
People were willing to fight, to suffer, to die for what they believed in.
And that's what makes this period so fascinating.
It is.
It's not just about battles and strategies.
I know.
It's about human choices,
Right.
about ordinary people caught up in these extraordinary circumstances.
Mm.
It makes you wonder how any of us would have reacted in similar situations.
It does. It challenges us to look beyond these simplified narratives
Right.
and grapple with the complexities of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've seen in this deep dive, the early months of the Civil War were anything but simple.
They were not.
It was a period of uncertainty,
Yeah.
of missteps, of decisions made with the best intentions
Right.
that often had unforeseen and devastating consequences.
So was Fort Sumter the true start of the Civil War?
That's the question, isn't it?
Maybe symbolically, but as we've discovered today,
Yeah,
the real story is much more nuanced,
it is.
much more human.
Absolutely.
It's a story about years of simmering tension, of missed opportunities, of choices made under immense pressure.
Yeah,
And it's a story that even today continues to resonate
for sure.
and challenge our understanding of ourselves and our nation.
It does. If this deep dive has you hooked, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
We'll keep bringing you history that feels relevant, relatable, and far from boring.
We'll see you next time.